In the Photoshop beta, there's a great new parametric filters. It's got loads and loads, but there's also some that you think, why? Oh, why did they include that? They don't really seem to do much. So if I just go here, click color. Now to actually see these parametric filters, you need to go to filter and parametric filters just to get the display here. And you can see what it does is change the color. That's a one-click effect, which is fine if you want to turn the image blue. But you can undo. I'm just going to undo that. Now what happens, it actually creates a background copy. I think that's slightly annoying, but that's the way it works. And so I've got this background layer. Go to color, and you will see straight away you get these parametric properties. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to keep it as medium. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to keep it as medium. You could put it to ultra. However, you've got some defaults, and I'm just going to go with the grayscale one. So grayscale, straight away, this is the grayscale effect. But what you can do is you can go down here and you've got blending. So you can blend, so you can turn around and say, oh, well, I just want it to be 0.32. So you can just obviously reduce it down a bit. You can also go the other direction. So you can really push it up and then it goes sort of like more blue. And of course you can vary the colour. You can go for maybe a red. So something like that. Again, change the blending. You've also got a gradient overlay, which is not the world's greatest gradient overlay. You can see the difference. Obviously you've got the original colour all the way through to red. It's fine, you can use it for quite a bit. I'm not going to go with that, but you can change the angle as well. Now I'm going to keep the blending around about there, 1.3, I want it slightly red. But also, you've got here transform, and this is very useful. What you can do, you can just go down here and you can scale it. Say 0.68, just reduces it down, just resizes it. Okay, it does create a bit of, but if you want a sort of weird red coloured glitchy effect or any colour imagery, you go here, you can change the offset. You can also change the repeat. So you might think, well, I want very thin design. So let's just go for 5 and 1. And you can see the result of that. So there's a lot of things you can do with just this transform feature. I'm just going to keep it at 1. But you can also go for rotation. And rotation, so it's just rotated slightly, 45 degrees. You could do it to 90. Also, you can change the luminosity. So you just move that. And you can see as you do that, I think that looks more effective than the solid red. Also, you can change the contrast. Now, I'm just going to keep it the same, but you can see you can just reduce it down, which creates a sort of weird, interesting negative effect. Just push it up again to about 0.57, but you can vary the settings. But once you've done that, you've got all these settings, you're happy with the image. You're happy with this current image anyway. You can go to layers. And in layers, you can see what you've got. You've got 2 layers. You've got the original, and you've got the background copy, and that's a smart filter associated with it. So you can remove it if you don't want that. You can just quickly click here, it's gone. Bring it back. Very quick. But also you've got here, you can blend. So you can blend it between this. So you can go here, so you go lighten, maybe go with lighten, soft light, just run through the different blending. Maybe go for hard mix. But I'm just going to go with lighten. But also what you can do, you can go here, parametric filter, how the blends with that as well. And just go here, this little side bit, you can just, now unfortunately it just says parametric filter. I wish they would actually put a bracket colour so you would know which one it was. But you can double click it and you've got the options come up there, or you can go here, double click that and this option comes up instead, the blending options. Now with the blending options you can go through these and say darker colour, or maybe go through overlay, just try out different settings. Just run through those as well. Maybe go for, instead of 100%, maybe go for 66 and then click OK. Just try out these different settings. Also, you can of course duplicate this. You can always just turn around and say, oh, I want layer and duplicate layer. So again, click that, got another one. And of course, these are independent. So you can actually then just go here, double click that again, bring up the settings, then change the blending, change the luminosity, change the offsets, scale, reduce that down, maybe go like that. And once you've done that, go back to the layers and then of course use different blending modes there. So maybe go for hard light and you can see you can combine multiple layers with this colour effect to create some really interesting colour combinations as well as all this different resizing. But also, Once you're happy with the design here, you might think, well, just go to layer and flatten image. You could, of course, combine it with chromatic, distortion. They're all really great with many different features. So all flattened. So everything's flattened. You can now repeat this. So again, just go here to colour, just click, and again, you've got this. And you can see you've got the setting, you've got this 45. Now it's taken some of the settings, obviously it's previous, but you can just change those. Now, unfortunately, randomize does nothing. Just click. I don't know why that's in lots of the filters. It is, unfortunately. But again, you can go for transform. You can see you can reduce it down really to, like say, 0.49. I think if it goes too small, you put it 0.1 or something, it gets very, very tiny. And also, that creates an interesting effect if you do this. If you go to minus, so go to minus 2.05, say, and you can see it creates this very weird DOSy sort of noise effect at an angle as well. And that can be useful if you want to create sort of like weird sort of 90s, I suppose, style, that sort of jazzy style. I don't know what they described it back in the 90s, but I know this is the sort of thing that you often see. Well, you can also, of course, change the scale and push it the other way, again, to get something like that. Or maybe go for really big imagery, perfectly reasonable as well. But I'm just going to keep it down to about 0.44, something like that. And again, you can go and change the colour. Don't have to keep the same colour. So this time I'm going to go maybe for lime green. Click OK. And you can see the result of that. Creates sort of sepia design. Again, scale, luminosity you can change. And again, change contrast either way. And of course, if you create a custom preset that you like, you've got all the settings here, you can always go up here and click plus to store that colour filter effect away for future use. So you don't have to just go with sepia, grayscale, etc. You can literally combine it in literally millions of different ways just by changing the repeat settings. Say 3, 1, or maybe go with 3 and 3 to create a very unusual one, or maybe 3 and 6, and so on. And once you're happy with it, again, go to layer and flatten image, or exact same as before, go to layers, and you can say, just change blend modes, run through those and see maybe overlay or hard mix and so on to create a very intense, super colourful image very quickly. If you've got any questions about the Adobe Photoshop Beta and parametric filters, please let me know in the comments below. Also, a like or dislike, always appreciated. Thank you much.